안녕하세요. 인사이트 코리아입니다. 우물밖에 개구리를 운영하는 마크 피터슨 교수는 한국에 대한 각별한 애정을 지닌 인물로 한국인들도 미처 알지 못했던 한국의 면면을 알려주고 뜻깊은 관점으로 한국을 분석해내는 학자로 유명하죠. 그런 그가 미국인 교사들과 진행한 세미나에서 한국의 역사를 놀라운 시각으로 조명해냈습니다. 과연 마크 피터슨 교수가 말하는 한국이 세계 최초이자 최고인 것들은 무엇이었을까요? 지금부터 해당 강의 소개해드리겠습니다.
So we'll talk about Korea's first and best and unique and famous, the things that Korea is best at. There are a lot of things to talk about, but I think I'll talk about the things that are most famous first, the print culture, Korea's tradition of printing. I've got here that the oldest printed document in the world is a document from Korea. Now, more recently we found two documents from China that might be older. And so we've got a little bit of a problem with whether this is the absolute oldest one or not, or whether it's the second or third oldest. We do have the first metal movable type comes from Korea, and we do have the oldest book printed with metal movable type is from Korea, and we have the largest collection of wood plates or wood block printing, all from Korea. So with 80,000 wooden blocks, you don't have 80,000 pages. You have 4 times 80,000. How many pages is that? 320,000 pages of documents. This is the largest collection of Buddhist scripture in the world. And a Buddhist scholar today, not just some tourist walking in, you can go in and you say, I want to print off pages 182 to page 188 or whatever, and you can go in and they'll let you do it. This is like a living Xerox machine from 800 years ago. Isn't that remarkable? We started off with print culture. Now, so what? Right? You want to answer the question of what's this got to do with what? Well, the answer is this leads to printing of books. The purpose of books is to lead to education. Education leads to all sorts of societal progress, and among them in Korea you have democracy, you have economic development, you have all sorts of innovative products. These are all the best and the brightest out of Korea, and I'm arguing today that the foundation for this is the print culture, the books. Now, this leads us to one other interesting and unique feature of Korea, and that is Hangul. This unique alphabet that's a true alphabet. It's not a syllabary like the Japanese. It's not Chinese characters, but it's a true alphabet with consonants and vowels that was invented by a king. And it turns out that each of these shapes is a picture of how that sound is made. Now, if we had an hour, I could teach you how to read Korean. So that's what makes Korean unique, Korean Hangul unique. Because of these three factors, the print culture, the simplicity of the alphabet, and the ideology of Confucianism, which says there's nothing better than to study, all add up to the highest educational standards in the world. Korea has the highest educational performance standards in the world. Korea has the highest graduation rate from high school in the world. That's remarkable. How are you all doing in California? Pretty close to 98? You're up there 97? Where are you? California is 76%. Well, overall across the country, so we have graduation rates that are between 60 and 80%, and Korea is at 98%, and Koreans have to pay tuition to go to high school. They only have compulsory education or free education up until the 9th grade. Free till the 9th grade, but if you're going to go to high school, you've got to pay, and they still have the highest graduation rate in the world. That says something. That says something, does it not? Maybe we should do that in this country. Charge for going to high school. Maybe we'd appreciate it more if we had to pay for it. You know? But this is the remarkable thing. Now, you ask, well, 98%, aren't there some poor people, difficult people that can't pay the tuition? Yes, there are people that cannot pay the tuition, but they take care of it. There are scholarships. Every school has a certain amount of fund leeway to admit students without paying. That's still 98% graduate from high school. Because the college graduation rate is similarly very high. Now, Koreans criticize themselves. They're no better critic of Korea than the Koreans. And they point out that there's some problems in the educational system. They're very critical of their educational system. Well, something so valuable, of course you've got to be critical. And there are different opinions, and they fight back and forth about should we westernize or should we keep the traditional system, and it goes back and forth. There's a lot of argument about it, a lot of criticism about the stress of passing the exams. There are a lot of issues, but nonetheless, the performance rate is very, very high. There are things that I think we in our country could learn from the Korean educational system. Okay, that's another one of the bests. So all these things add up to one big package, I think. Well, let's look at some other items. Shift gears now. Metallurgy and politics, two issues I want to talk about next. But Korea is really good with metal. if you go to a Korean restaurant, what kind of chopsticks are you using? Yeah, they're really good. Once you get used to them, they're really nice. Korean chopsticks are different from Chinese chopsticks, are different from Japanese chopsticks. And the rice bowls, Korean rice bowls are different from Chinese rice bowls. They're different from Japanese rice bowls. The Korean rice bowls are made of metal. Stainless steel today, bronze in the old days, but metal. Koreans developed the first metal movable type we've already talked about. And it turns out the composition of the metal is a very high quality bronze that is very high tech, and it's exactly the same ratio the Koreans used in making cannon. First ironclad warships in the world were from Korea. And they're called the turtle boats, and here's one picture with metal plates on the top. Now, what's the significance of that? In old warfare, the objective of your army, your navy, was not just to sink the other ship. Your objective was to take over the other ship. And so in the warfare, you would board the ship and you would kill the sailors. That's the way you got paid in the old days. So you don't sink the other ship. You take it over, you kill the sailors and get their nose and ears and get your pay, and then that ship's now your ship. Well, if the Japanese are going to attack your ship now, and it's all covered with metal, and it's got spikes on the top of it, how are they going to get on and take over your ship and kill you? And how are they going to shoot their fire arrows and put your ship on fire when you got these metal plates on the top? You see how it works? It is very clever. And then the gold crowns. I don't know about this, but some people are saying that the first gold crown in the world was Korean. I don't know if it was the first, but it was certainly one of the best. Look how beautiful that thing is. Very ornate, gold, decorated with jade and dangling decorations on it. It's a very ornate thing. It is certainly unique and praiseworthy, remarkable in the world. So in the category of metallurgy, Korea does a lot. And I think this says a lot about modern Korea, because if they were leading the field in the old days with certain things, then that explains why today Samsung has the most cell phones. And Korea builds the most ships. What are ships made out of? We quit building wooden ships a long time ago, right? Ships are made out of metal. And I got in the hotel last night, turned it on, what did it say? LG, life's good. TV said life's good. Politics, historical politics, including warfare. What you should know. Korea has a 5,000-year history. Actually, the archaeology goes back over 10,000 years. But just for shorthand's sake, we like to say 5,000 years. What I want to do today is Sesame Street style. Say this lesson is brought to you by the number 3. To understand Korean history, there are 3 kingdoms, and then there are 3 dynasties. Easy peasy, okay? Here are the 3 kingdoms, Shilla, Baekje, and Goryeo, and here are the 3 dynasties, Shilla, one of the same, and Goryeo and Joseon. And the dates I'm going to emphasize here, that is, look at the dates of these 3 dynasties and do the math. Well, I did it for you. The Shilla dynasty, if you go from unified Shilla, it's only 270 years, but if you go through 3 kingdoms Shilla to unified Shilla, it's 1,000 years long. Well, dang near, 8 years short of 1,000 years. That's one long dynasty. Any world history teachers here? Name me a dynasty that's older. It's hard to find. It's hard to find. Dynasties are like human lifespans. A normal dynasty is 250 years. It'll sometimes be short, 200, it'll sometimes be long, 300, but a normal dynasty, no matter where you find it, Egyptian, European, Japanese, Chinese, it's 250 years plus or minus 50 years, most dynasties. Not in Korea. Korea has a 1,000-year dynasty, then 2 500-year dynasties. This is a remarkable fact. And what it says is that Korea has a great deal of stability, a great deal of political stability. Now this flies in the face of what most Koreans will tell you. Most Koreans, when they tell you about their own history, tell you about all the chaos, all the turmoil, all the invasions, and all the warfare. That's a 20th century view that distorts the full length of Korean history. The full length of Korean history was not full of warfare, was not full of invasion. That's a 20th century point of view. And this has led to the modern development of politics, where Korea, in the current era, has moved from a military-dominated, authoritarian-style politics to a true democracy. And I like to argue that Korea is more democratic than the United States. Whoa! How could you say such a thing? My example is this. In Korea, they're so democratic, to choose a new president of a university, they elect the president from among the faculty. I mean, that's remarkable. There is not an American university that does that. American universities, state schools, private schools, church schools, it's a board of trustees that selects the new president. In Korea, who selects the new president? Democratic election of the faculty. That's remarkable. So that's my evidence that Korea is more democratic than the United States is even today.
과거부터 국난 극복의 의지가 이어져 온 것처럼 한국인들의 배움에 대한 열정과 손기술, 그리고 후손들에게 더 좋은 나라를 남기고자 하는 마음도 이어져 온 것은 아니었을까요? 한국을 새롭게 조명하고 한국에 대해 누구보다 열정적으로 강의하는 마크 피터슨 교수. 이런 이들이 있기에 앞으로 한국의 앞날이 더욱 기대되는 시점입니다. 지금까지 인사이트 코리아였습니다. 감사합니다.